And we have to be really careful of those things, and especially if you're Jewish. Especially if you're Jewish. Why? Why, if you're Jewish, you have to be extra careful? So the reason you have to be extra careful if you're Jewish is because we're not supposed to be actually having them. We're not actually supposed to be having moods. The Jewish calendar has its own swings. It has its own undulations. Throughout the week, for example, there's Shabbos, and then there's down to Wednesday, and then there's back up to Shabbos. Shabbos is actually the middle of the week. You all think it's the end of the week. It's the middle of the week. It's the peak of the week. Now, of course, when Shabbos goes out, and especially more spiritual people that I was describing before, they will go into a big down Saturday night. And my down is so big, it'd be like as if you were running full speed and you just hit a wall of water and you just like running full speed and you just like, and you can feel it hit. It's horrible. At one point I made a campaign to eradicate Saturday night altogether. How did I do that? I would make my third meal last as long as possible until my wife was finally like, kids have school tomorrow, and then what I do, so we should pray Mariv, the evening service, and then do Havdalah. So then we would do the evening service, no quick evening service, and then we'd come in and do Havdalah. Well, Havdalah, we break out all the instruments, and we play a 2-hour Havdalah concert. So by the time we were done with that, it was around midnight. It's time to go to bed. So I actually worked to eradicate Saturday night altogether because it just hit so hard. The loss of Shabbos. And this is universal. Even structured thinkers are a little more down on Saturday night. All they need is a slice of pizza or something. They're feeling good. But slice of pizza is not going to do nothing for a right-brain, creative, spiritual type. It's just no treat will do the job. And I think that's why God created social media. Except social media is a little painful too, because you can't respond to anybody outside your time zone. Because maybe they're in Shabbos. You got to be really careful. So I guess that's why God created YouTube, because you can keep yourself distracted for a little while. But the problem is you might wind up elongating it anyway because of the nap that everyone takes on Shabbos afternoon. A little harder to fall asleep early Saturday night. So you could wind up YouTubing for quite some time on a Saturday night, which is not a great way to start a Sunday. Unless you live in America, which has 2 Shabboses, what's called Shabbos Sheni Shebegalios, the second day of Sabbath, which is Sundays. Israel doesn't have Sundays. Now, anyway, we have to be very... I was talking about patterns in time. There's waves. Shabbos down to Wednesday, up to Shabbos down to Wednesday. There's months that have some different energies. And each of those energies is wave-oriented. Those are waves going on. Like we're going in, next month is going to be very high waves. Very high. Rosh Hashanah through Sukkot is high energy. Real high energy. And we just finished the month of Av. Very low energy. Very low energy. And what happens is, the reason why Jews aren't supposed to have moods to begin with, yet be with the biggest amplitudes perhaps, is because you're supposed to be riding the Jewish waves. You're supposed to be riding the calendar. You're supposed to be riding the waves of Jewish life. And to add one more thing, which can't help but add, is you're supposed to be doing all of this in the land of Israel. The Jewish calendar was not created for people who live in Brooklyn. You can keep the Jewish calendar in Brooklyn. You can keep it in South America and Brazil and Guatemala. And you can keep the Jewish calendar in Australia. And you should, because those are commandments when we do the calendrical, activities that we do and each holiday and everything. You should keep the calendar. But the calendar was clearly made for this area of the globe. Well, who cares? And the answer is that God cares is because if you're creating a wave pattern, which is a flow that has to do with time, which means it automatically has to do with the zodiac. Because once it has to do with time, it has to do with the shifting pinwheel of the constellations. So that shifting is shifting energies. And those energies are coming in. And when they're coming in, well, they're coming in specifically to our globe. But into our globe, it's going to be, depending where you are on the globe, is going to be your positioning to the zodiac. And it was all created for here, not for New York or New Jersey. It was created for here. And so while being in the land of Israel, aligning yourself with that particular holiday, now the zodiac energies that come through on that holiday can flow. And that's the word for the zodiac. How do you say zodiac in Hebrew? Mazal. Mazal. And what does the word zal mean? The root of the word is zal. Mazal is the causing of the flow. Meaning the flow comes through the mazalot, through the mazalot, the mazalos. And what's the word zal mean? Means flow. Very good. Mazal means flow. That's why when you buy liquid soap in Israel, it's called sabon nozlim. You have the word zal there, nozalim, because it's flowing. And the word in Hebrew, the word zal means to flow. And mazal is the causing of the flow. It's where the flow comes down through these stars. And there's energies. And you got to be aligned with those energies. But the ultimate geographical location that the alignment of those energies happens in is the land of Israel. That's where it was created for. And so there's no promises for anyone who lives outside of Israel that they're going to get what I'm about to say. But if you live in the land of Israel, you will get it, except I see a question on my right.